Hi, I'm Kay Lewis.
And I'm Ricky Alexander.
And welcome to On the Back Porch Season 4. We're super excited today to be speaking with our great friend, Dandy Wellington. He's born and raised in Harlem, New York.
There was music throughout. I mean, everywhere you walked, you were hearing music.
And he's a band leader who's brought his band as well as his style all around the world. He's featured in the GQ and Vogue, and he's recently performed at Lincoln Center, as well as the Superfine exhibit at the Met, in which the catalog he was featured in as well. Let's go talk to him.
You're always talking about your upbringing as a Harlemite and your mom giving you a lot of musical legs to start with, to walk on.
Yeah.
Can you talk about your mom and her as an inspiration to you musically?
Yeah, absolutely. My mom is a massive influence on everything that I've done. So I grew up in a brownstone in Harlem, where there was music throughout. I mean, everywhere you walked, you were hearing music. There was art on the walls, surrounded by some of the greats of the Harlem Renaissance, and just being a part of what the Harlem Renaissance produced in that house and in that neighborhood has always been a big influence. And my mom always made sure that the history of what Black people have created, from whether it be in America, and my mom's from Jamaica, so there's like a rich sort of Caribbean cultural history, this melting pot of ideas. That was a big part of growing up. And then specifically to music, I mean, it was Louis Armstrong, it was Dexter Gordon, it was Sarah Vaughan, Duke Ellington, constantly. And then, of course, musicals as well, sort of bringing in that theatrical history. Growing up, it was constantly music. I couldn't help but be inspired by the great people who lived in the neighborhood of Harlem.
I used to catch a lot of your stuff on Instagram.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is what I'd like to do. This is something, that I'd like to invest my time and my creativity in. And of course, from that came, the idea of my show, Belle Noire. The song that we did together, we did 2 songs together, but the song that I could only think of you for was, Zoot Suit with My
Right.
Sunday Gal. The way you dress
Yeah.
is such an integral part to the delivery of what you do. And, obviously that's really inspired, especially my own trajectory and, what I like to think about. And that's something I do want to focus on, What role do you find that fashion and style plays into jazz presentation and performing?
The old adage is they see you before they hear you. And so when someone is walking into a room and they see a well-dressed band, they see them paying homage, honoring the spectacular interior design, or even elevating what is happening in that space, they can't help but be excited. The idea of transporting people, I think, is important. Mm-hmm. That's my whole perspective on vintage style, not vintage values. It's like we look back not to go back, but to move forward. But we're still bringing something elegant. We're still referencing, the beautiful wallpaper, these, gorgeous glassware that these cocktails are in. We're bringing a little bit of that style with us. And so when it comes to, a band and seeing that style, that elegance on stage, I feel like it's really, really important. In terms of engaging with the music, I think it's important for all of us to be interpreters of these old tunes. Some of these tunes, if they were to listen to the original records, most people now, they wouldn't be able to process it. They're just not used to hearing the crackles and the pops and trying to discern what the drum is doing in the back of that recording. Like, most people are not used to that. So it's our job to do that research, take those tunes and present them to an audience so that they can understand it. Mm-hmm.
So can you tell us what you're going to be performing for us today?
I I'm picking tunes. There's so much music. It's everything. When people are asking what kind of music do you play, where are the tunes coming from? It's from 1907 all the way to like the 1950s. So it's a ton of music that inspires me that I'm always pulling from. So for this one, Strut Miss Lizzie, 1922 original recording. The recording that has always resonated with me is Irving Mills and his Hotsy Totsy Orchestra. It's just great. Bix is on that record. And then an original tune. A tune that I wrote. Ricky was very much involved.
I may have played a small part.
Yeah, a little part. Go on. A tune called Greenhouse Stomp.
Oh, yeah.
Because growing up in Harlem, my mom has a beautiful garden outside. And I'd spent years and years as a child helping her out in the garden. And of course, New York, so many beautiful gardens. But what if those flowers came to life and had a party? 1, 2, 1, 2. Won't strut, Miss Lizzie, get busy. I wanna see you walk for the folks all state. Where you syncopate is the whole town talk. Move so pretty, it's a pity. Other girl is frown for the man you meet. Like the way you shake your feet, knock 'em dizzy. Strut, Miss Lizzie Brown. Go down the street by the school, stretch your feet, you strutting fool. Strut your stuff, use your curse, grab those tootsies by the church. Through the alley, dodge those cans. Miss Ellis, pots and pans, who down to go, we're coming through. Let down Lennox out on you. I wanna see you walk for the folks all state. The way you syncopate is the whole town talk. You move so pretty, it's a pity. Other girl is frown for the man you meet. Like the way you shake your feet, knock 'em dizzy. Strut, Miss Strut, 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 Miss Lizzie Brown.
Reflected in all of your work, like the fun that you have and the passion that you have for what you do, and that was especially showcased for people recently in your feature in Superfine. I do want to ask about that, like your experience, kind of living in the moment of not only being featured as an essayist, but you were photographed. Yeah. You also got featured at the Met as a band leader. Ricky himself was also part of that band. So can you give the lowdown on what that was?
Yeah, it's interesting to process because the exhibit just just recently closed. I've had moments over the course of its run to process what that meant. Mm-hmm. I have been dressing this way, doing this for maybe 15 years. Dandyism has always been there at the forefront, that connection to sartorialism, to connecting culture to that, and finding ways to bring joy to clothing, and connecting to history, to my history, my family history, the history of Harlem. And so to be a part of that exhibit, to be asked to speak about, to write about the Zoot Suit, which was an incredible thing, which of course ties in incredibly. It's perfect. But to write about the Zoot Suit and that history, and to chart it to the joy that existed in nightclubs in Harlem before it became a contentious element in California in the 1940s, in LA, that was such an important thing. But again, then also the full circle moment. When you're performing, when you're creating events, when you're out in the world connecting with people, you never know where those connections will lead you. Mm-hmm. It was 10 years ago that I met Monica Miller, who wrote Slaves to Fashion in 2009. And we were on a panel at the African Art Museum, the Smithsonian in DC. We were just on a panel talking about dandyism, and I was there as a representative of dressing this way. And 10 years later, she has an exhibit that she is co-curating for the Met fashion exhibit. She said, hey, if there's anybody who's going to be involved in this, it's got to be you, which is insane. So it's like, okay, 10 years. What does that mean? That means that over the course of that time, of the course of your career, you just don't know who you'll meet. Mm-hmm. And it's important to welcome people in with joy and with kindness, with understanding, learn what they do, and know that you never know.
Strutting by azaleas, party in that hot house around the block. Oh, a shuffle on a 4R greenhouse stomp. Yes, there's dancers prancing by the peonies, although the lilac's getting boozy. Pansies posing with magnolia fox. We're all sink, tickle pink 4R greenhouse stomp. Fern and berry, a great hysteria by the lemongrass. Rose and dahlia filled with laughter, doing agapanthus dance. So grab a partner of your choosing, I'll be there with black-eyed Susan. For a flora female, yeah, she's the type. Get back, buttercup, grab that clover just for luck. We're all pining for our greenhouse stomp. bear your great hysteria by the lemongrass. Rose and dahlia filled with laughter, do an agapanthus dance. So